coated in a plastic resin. It's still wood inside. The ones I made didn't go for a plastic coat, and what we did was we glued them all up so that they were all the right size blanks, and then we turned a set of them for a sports bar. And I had one left over, and you know when you think that's too nice to do anything with, but I don't know what to do with that, and actually I've ended up making a large. I make clown clocks, and I've made a large clown clock out of him because the pin was just too nice to sort of turn into anything else. But a box is a nice idea to keep the shape.
Yeah.
I think
You had a club member make a coffee mug out of pin, and including using the very top part to cut and make handles that he then epoxied onto the side of the coffee mug, and he used it as a mug.
A flask or a decanter would be a cool idea too.
Oh yeah.
You could epoxy the inside so it's waterproof and food safe. Or you could do a two-part hollow form and have a formed piece of stainless steel in the two pieces to create the bottom curve of your rolling pin, and then a lid for the top of the rolling pin.
That would be neat.
I might have to try that.
Getting the wheels going, everybody.
Right? Getting us all inspired by all the ideas everyone's getting. So it's great.
I'm sure we got a ton of them. Sometimes I turned this, it's just a basic little vase because I have so many ideas that I needed to reset my brain. Everything was like, it's like when you slam on the brakes on a bus and everybody goes flying towards the front. That's how my ideas, you know, and I had to like just go out there and turn something where I was blank, you know, deer in the headlight turning, where I'm just like, you know. So yeah,
You gotta go
it's overwhelming.
just not without the camera.
Yeah.
Turn the camera off and turn something.
Yeah, that's another challenge too, is when you turn on with the camera on a lot. Oh, look at there. Look at Martin.
That's your full-size bowling pin.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
That is so cool. I don't like clowns, but that's cute. Clowns freak me out.
But that's a full-size bowling pin.
That is
cool.
so cool.
That is.
What are all the woods?
Wow.
What are all the woods you
There's
laminated together?
Lots of different ones in there. There's Padauk. There is Osei orange. There's English oak. There's ash. And the one down the centre there is Epi.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for sharing.
Very cool.
Purple art on the two outsides.
We're going to see how Kim's comes out next week.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it.
All right, Ed's going to do this again, and so I can find this to edit it. Okay, I can do that. Anybody else up tonight? It's kind of open floor, folks. If we don't get anybody real quick, we're going to call it, a night. See, I'm getting all choked up over this.
Hey, Eddie, I wanted to ask Caden, when he turned his bowling ball, I've only ever done one, but mine was extremely messy. It looked like somebody had poured baby powder all over my workshop. Did he have that same issue when he was hollowing out his bowling ball?
I did. I actually, as the curls were coming off the bowling ball, they were long, rubbery ribbons going through the air. My lathe was absolutely filthy with static cling rubber ribbons. But the moment I touched it in my hand and put my fingers together or any pressure against it, it was dust. And when I sanded it, it was like a fine talcum powder or a baby powder. So definitely wear a mask when you're sanding that stuff. It's quite fine. It gets really deep in there. But yeah, I made sure I wore a mask doing that.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm holding off to do another one until I get my new shop. My wife wasn't happy with that big mess that got everywhere.
It also did a number, sorry, it did a number on my bandsaw as well. My bandsaw blade's been duller than anything ever since I cut that one bowling ball. I have 3 more 5-pin bowling balls to turn, and then I'm going to go up to a full-size bowling ball. I have one, but just haven't cut it yet. I wanted to do the small ones first, just to see what I was working with.
So mine was the full size, and I just picked it up at one of the thrift stores for about $3 or whatever. And of course, I got the idea from, you know, Carl Jacobson when he did his on YouTube. But I just stuck mine between centers, used a parting tool, and got it as deep as I could, and then cut it the rest of the way off with a handsaw.
Oh, you know what you do? Here, I got a tip for you. You can see when I cut this blank right here, I found my centers. So I have a center. The bottom is curved, so it's hard to actually get a spur drive or a safe drive to sit perfectly flat on it. And it's almost like you're chasing your tail trying to find dead center. So as long as you have this mapped out and you have your center, use your tailstock without any spur drive in it. And that concave shape will take the bottom curve of that bowling ball perfectly. Yeah. And then it centers perfectly on those center lines. No problem.
Good
That's a
idea.
great tip. Thank you.
No problem.
Doug, I can see why you went in the forces to have a 10-pound bowling ball in between centres spinning at 600 revs.
Let alone getting them shot at you.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Doug's in the military. You can take those chances.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Still,
Those English people are too soft for that. too soft for that.
anybody else out there? I'm seeing a lot of regular names. We're open.
Yeah, one more thing. So I saw they put in the comments for our YouTube channel for Worldwide Woodturners. Kim, go ahead and throw yours and Doug's in there too if somebody hasn't already, so everybody can go check out your guys' YouTube channels.
See, that's what chat's all about. If you got something that you want to share and keep in mind, that's the place to go. If you have a particular product you use or whatever, go into the chat area and put it in there. It's remember, our program is not supposed to be sponsored. We're not supposed to endorse, and we don't. If I tell you I'm using a one-way revolving center tailstock piece, I want to tell you that Jet makes it, Delta makes it, Robust makes it. You know, it's available from varied sources, and it's almost identical items. And I did say almost. And if the dollar drives you, or the quality drives you, or the need drives you, that's what you should consider when you're looking for these parts. That's why I like folks to give the options. And I've seen enough videos, and you have too, of people that go 100% commercial. And you know, everything they made is made by this company. That's all they use. To me, that might not be fair to beginning turners. When beginner turners say, I want to buy a set of tools, first thing I tell them is don't buy a set of tools. I've asked people in places that sell them, what's this tool do? You know, it's a strange, to get that noise from the guys that sell them to you, you really wonder why you're even buying it. So be selective, be careful. Anybody else up tonight? I can cancel this out and I'm unplugging all the videos. Everybody's up. Okay, I hear voices. Michael, you're in there, Michael.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what somebody said earlier about thank you very much for everything you've done for the community over the years. And if you let me share my screen, I'll show you a little something that I put together.
All right, go ahead. Oh, wait, you want to share your screen? I got to tell it that, hold on. I got the wrong button just now. All right, I think you do it now. We can get you up there. We should be seeing the shared screen.
Nothing yet. We're still just seeing his face and the ocean behind him.
You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, here it goes. There it is. All right, Mike, what is that?
Gotta unmute yourself, Mike.
Turn off the mute or press your space bar.
I'll do my best to interpret for him. That's a plate.
That's a plate. It's a piece of dogwood crutch. It's got a couple of coats of shine juice on it. I kind of like the natural satin look of the wood, so I didn't make it shiny.
Good.
And it's about 11 inches in diameter.
I like that little recess in the center. That really defines the piece, stands it out, makes it stand out.
I like that black line out of
That's
nowhere.
that's where the limb went out to the right-hand side of the trunk of the tree.
That is so cool. Just kind of like boom, black line.
Very nice.
That's what I
It
like about.
accents the bowl perfectly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
What I like about this hobby is you can turn that exact same shape 100 times and it's not going to look at all like the one before it.
Yes.
Yep. They'll all be one of a kind.
Yeah, that's what God did to wood, makes it beautiful.
That's right.
Amen.
Yep.
Right. You got anything else to share, Mike?
No, that's it, Eddie. Thank you.
All right, you're quite welcome, sir. You are very quite welcome. I
Very
gotta
nice.
cancel this out and do this. And Mike, I think you have to turn your share screen off. I can't get back to you. I can't get rid of you. I don't know
Trying
how
to do that.
Okay, there we
There
go.
we go.
Went off. All right. It's who's got the right button. That's what it's all about. Anybody else here tonight? Just like the BS section that goes on after the meeting.
Captain Eddie.
Fred?
Eddie?
Is that Fred?
I got a tripod.
I'm sorry, is that Fred?
My phone, I'm gonna try switching to a different internet connection because there's about a 2-second lag.
Yeah, it's like watching one of those cheap cable shows, you know, where the lips move and the voice doesn't come out. You gonna change now? You want to come back to us, Fred, or?
I'm just gonna kind of hang around and listen. You guys go on and I'll be back in a second.
All right. Thank you, Fred. Anybody else up? You know, you turn and you're looking at Matt Locke and he's gone. And then the voice comes on. We still have a good bit of folks out there tonight, but it's getting close to wrap up time. We're going to get back to Fred in a minute when he gets lined back up again. Anybody else for sharing, tips, gallery, input? Remember, but young turners or beginning turners, novice turners, however you want to describe it, if you got a particular question on something, ask it. Tonight, we got a chucking tip from one turner. Doug tells about holding on to a bowling ball. We've seen a couple of Danes showed us some stuff about running the headstock to where the tailstock is. There's a line outside the Powermatic store waiting to buy those freestanding supports. So there's a lot going on tonight, and we invite you to jump in. I think Fred, I thought I had you back up.
I am here.
Can't get you, Fred. I can't, it won't even take the spotlight on you. Must be a rough connection. All right, we're going back to it. Anybody else tonight?
Hey, Eddie, I want to put the pressure on Doug from Pole Barn Productions because that guy's amazing and he hasn't shown us anything tonight. So I think he needs to go grab something off the shelf that he's made.
Who's that?
I
Doug
agree.
from Pole Barn Productions. He's just sitting back there in Michigan with nothing to do right now.
I agree. Go get something.
Doug, you still in the park?
I've got a shaky internet.
I'm still here, but I don't think I have any of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I've been sure.
What is that?
So
Fred's connection is chopping up his audio.
Was Fred trying to speak, but his audio is garbled because of his poor connection.
Oh,
Here you go. Let's go to this nightmare that Kim sucked me into. With the dyed resin or the dyed shavings in the resin. So
It's
all
a
it is
party.
I turned I turned a blank into curls, making a tenon. How I made a tenon, I just turned an entire piece of wood down to a tenon. I got a lot of slack for that, by the way, but I added walnut to the bottom, burned my logo in it, and then walnut rimmed it with a lid to match. Now these are just dye colored shavings, and like Kim was saying, I can't remember the name of
it's a
dye.
deco art made by Deco Art.
Is that what they are?
Or, yeah, folk art, deco art, folk art.
Folk art. That was it. Folk art. So, anyways, those are just dyes and they're water based, so we had to make sure they were dried because they do affect the resin. And this was Kim's idea. Kim picked the colors for all this, and she went with her colors. So.
I liked yours better, by the way.
Yeah, but yours is doing better with views, so.
I will put the link to that dye we used in the comments. Let me go find it really quick, and then.
But yeah.
Doug, if you would, show us the bottom of that piece again.
Did it come in a liquid or a powder that you mix?
It is a kind of like a gel, but it's a water-based.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I wanted Doug to show this because I get this a lot of times about folks that want to put their name or brand them in. Kim, you brand in your pieces, don't you?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, and that's a nice mark. And I had one made that just had my initials on it. You have to brand your wood.
Gearhart Industries, I believe, is the branding iron company. It's out of Georgia.
Can you throw that in a chat for us? Even get close so we can search it.
It's just Gearhart Industries.com, I believe.
All right, because we didn't have any way to write it down.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of powdered dyes that you can even get on Amazon. I find they work quite well as well. I've tried a few of them. Probably similar to what you're talking about.
Gearhart Industries, and it's in the chat thing. And if you didn't write
Well, it's not a link. I just wrote it out. I'm not in a browser where I can get that.
Oh,
that's okay. We'll get close.
Put it up.
That's what I make Google for.
So. I got
Anybody
mine
else
from
tonight?
custombranding.com. I'll go ahead and put that in the link as well. I get that asked quite a bit. I can say that Doug heats his up with a propane.
Acetylene. You're not supposed to. I do it anyways.
Mine I ordered so that way I can put it in a heating, it's like a
pressure
it's
pot.
hot enough to do the glass, what do you call it? The stained glass look, the metal for the stained glass. Anyways, yeah, I guess what it is. I would say that, I mean, I don't know because I don't have a round logo like Doug's, but mine's rectangular. And oh my gosh, it's so frustrating because you can see where it doesn't burn all the way if the piece isn't exactly flat. So just keep that in mind. The bigger it is, whenever it's rectangular, the flatter you're going to have your piece in order for it to burn, or possibly get the branding company to make your logo deeper. So that way, when you push in really good, you're getting, I think mine's just too shallow maybe, or it's just too rectangular. I need to do a round logo. It's just some of the things that I wish I would have known before I ordered mine.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're not supposed to use the acetylene like I use it. It takes forever to do it with a propane torch because it's 1/4 inch to 3/8 thick. You know, so it takes a really long time to get it hot.
You can get electric ones that just plug into the wall.
You can't.
That's
I
what
wasn't
mine
being.
is.
I
Yeah.
wasn't being picky when my sponsor sent it to me. What he sent me is what I'm using.
That's cool. That was my big dilemma too when I started signing my stuff years ago. I had a big dilemma between a brander or a wood burner. And the thing with a brander is it has to be perfectly heated properly, evenly, and then when you press it on the piece, you have to have an exact even proportion and an even pressure. Otherwise you get that overburn or the bad burn. And then I thought, if I get a wood burner, like a razor tip, with practice, I can sign my name, label the wood, give the work pieces a SKU number, but also with a wood burner, I can use it to wood burn, carve, texture, and embellish my work in many ways, where a brander is just a brander. So something to think about.
Yeah.
It does. I was using one, but it was probably really old, and you were this far away with the heat. You couldn't grab any closer than that, so it's really hard to write with that much distance. And so the sponsor at the time saw that I was struggling with that and sent me the branding iron. Now I suppose you could stick it in the tailstock in the Jacobs chuck, heat it there, run it in like Ken Moon does that, I believe. Runs it in with the tailstock and burns his logo in flat that way.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we have for ideas.
Yeah.
What
razor
trying
tip.
something new here, so
Sorry.
I'm going to try something new, and that I've gone to laser, and I can sign it and download it from the laser and burn it right into the bottom of the bowl.
They're handy.
Well, I had somebody sent me laser cut maker coins with my logo in it like that. The problem with it is when you like put it in there, you put the resin in, it tends to bleed from the inside of the plywood or whatever he's using. It bleeds through, so then you get them colors in the resin.
Yeah, I just burn it right into the bottom of the bowl. Is that?
Well, so I think the reason I have them is sometimes you can't burn into the plastic like we have with the resin,
Right.
where it doesn't cover solid wood on the bottom. So you put a maker coin in the bottom, you fill it with resin to cover it, and it tends to bleed. Sometimes you have to seal those first.
Okay. Yeah. That might be a problem with resin.
Another thing you can do for a maker's mark is you can have little button companies make little acrylic buttons, and it'll have your logo, your insignia, your email right on the button. The only thing you do is don't have them put the backing on the button, and it's a simple inlay in the bottom of the bowl. I've seen a few guys in the UK do it that way.
I've looked into that.
We call them pin badges.
Yeah,
so they're a
badge.
pin badge. They're a metal pin badge, and you can get the pin badge company just to make up your badge to go on your top, and just tell them that when they're making them not to attach the pins on the back because you want to insert them into the timber. So that it almost comes like a coin with whatever design you want on. So you can have a Blue Peter badge or whatever badge you want to design. They'll do the design for you.
Yeah, I looked into that here. We're the token company. Or make token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's it's whatever is the works best. Like you say, branding irons. Some people pyro it in by hand each time.
If I have a resin project, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. If I have a resin project that I'm coating with resin, I'll just stick my regular stickers that I order to hand out for stickers, and then I resin over top of that, and then
I don't know what you have in the States, but we have a company in the UK that's called Able Label, and they produce a clear sticky label. So it's got no backing, and what you've got is whatever you want to put onto it that you can stick onto the item, and then you could resin over that. You know, they are literally, you know, like a white label that you would stick onto an envelope. These are made in a clear plastic. So there's, you know, you can attach it to the wood and it just has the writing on. They're quite good if you're going to put epoxy on the top of them or that sort of thing. Wow. And certainly in the UK, they are very cheap. You know, you get like 100 for £3, something like that. It's not, they're not expensive.
Wow.
But Able Label were online. I don't know if they're still online, but they're a UK-based firm. But you must have the same out in the States.
Yeah, we have several different sticker companies. Vistaprint so far has been the cheapest that I've run across for labels or stickers. But yeah, that's a good. I never thought of doing them on clear. That's a good idea.
I've got one, believe it or not, from my timber supplier that I'll try and grab.
Oh, cool.
I was at a trade show or wood turning show and saw a guy's piece on the counter and they had a number like 12357. And I said, that's the piece number? He said, yeah. And I said, you've turned 12,000 pieces? He says, oh no, I just had a number.
This one is very dirty. It's been in my, in fact, it's been in my workshop for nearly 6 years. So it's a bit dirty, but that's the kind of thing. I can't see myself.
A little too close, it's blurry.
It wants to go closer.
No.
But that's the kind of thing where that's just a label, but you can see the wood behind it.
Oh, okay. Kind of like address labels. I get it.
Just an address label.
Yeah.
You can't really see it very clear on the camera, but when it's on a piece of wood, and I mean, like I say, this one's dirty. It's been sat in my workshop for nearly 6 years. But that was his business card. Because he's a timber merchant, he slices very, very thin pieces of timber, and then he gets these Able labels across the top. But it's an idea for you. They're certainly very, very cheap, and like I say, a lot of the guys, any of the sticker companies should do them in a clear plastic.
All right, thank you. One more reminder, folks. We put things in the chat area, and you didn't get a chance to write it down, you're awkward about asking again. If you right now go to chat. In the bottom corner is a little square with 3 dots. Press that, and then it'll right up the first line will say "Save Chat," and it will save you to your computer somewhere on your computer. And after you do that one time, you'll have it handy for you. I had that on my computer for weeks and weeks and weeks before I found out how it was entitled. And my Mac genius said, go to recents. Wow, there it was. It's coming up on 3 hours, folks. I had to do that to let me know when I'm going to edit it out. If we don't come up with something real great, we're going to call it an evening, and we're going to join you again, because it's your club. Remember that. It's your club. We'll join you again.
All right. I got something. Here you go. The Kim Tippin original.
Tim Kippen original.
Yeah, Kim did this one and sent it to me. What is this? Sycamore? She would burn the octopus into it. And sycamore. I know I can't, I don't have it in the light so you can see it. I'm worried about burning it out. There you go. So
yeah,
but there's
there you go.
Octopus in it over the top. And it looks like a football. You turned this wet, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, this was wet. Yeah.
Kim,
well, I know that, so that I give them to the dogs because the dogs' breaths are awful.
Oh, no worries.
and then this one here, she's got a little branding iron burn in the bottom and wrote me a pretty note.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That looks
did
really
you
nice.
send them with the peppermints?
Yeah, candy canes when they went on sale after Christmas. And then I feed them to the dogs because the dogs got awful breath and they smell like peppermint breath.
Much better.
All right. Anybody else this evening?
I just got to say one more thing. My wife came out while we were talking. She heard the British accent, and she said, that guy's got a sexy voice.
And now she's embarrassed we can hear her.
There you go, Martin.
Keep on talking, Martin.
Yeah.
We're not going there, Doug. You're far too big for me. You put bowling balls between centres. She's got the right guy.
My boss is behind me. She's laughing her butt off. She really said that?
Now I realize why she never gets tired of me watching Nick Zemeni videos while I'm laying in bed.
Yo.
If she starts calling me Nick or Martin, though, we're gonna have issues.
Uh-oh.
Well, I had fun tonight. Thank you.
Have a good night, Mark.
We're gonna call it a night,
Yeah,
folks.
it's got to be good night. It's definitely got to be good night. It's 3 o'clock, 3:30. Yeah.
All right.
Very good
Call it a
night.
Good night. I'll see all of y'all and then some friends next Wednesday night right here. We start at 6:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The program actually begins at 7 o'clock. Gives us time to talk, visit, share ideas, complaints, talk about the other guys, all that stuff. It's right here on Worldwide Woodturners. It's your wood turning club. Until next week, take care, be good, and
Fantastic.
all out.
Bless.
Thank you, Eddie.
Good night, guys.
We hit over 100. We hit
Take
100.
care. See you next week.
I don't think our license lets me go over that right now, but I'm gonna pick
Well, yeah. But we hit it about 3 times tonight.
Great. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's your club. Get your friends to participate. There's room for everybody in this thing. At least I think there is.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, this is Jack.
Hey, Jack.
It's my first time tonight. I wanted to say one thing. Just a few minutes ago, you said something about all y'all. Did you know that's the plural of y'all?
That is?
Yeah. Y'all could be just 1 or 2 people in the room. All y'all, that's plural. That's everybody.
Well, I've been to Texas, and I do, your compass says yonder, 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 yonder.
Over yonder, yeah.
Oh, yonder.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Oh, and to stretch out that thing about the coin. In Louisiana, we have this Mardi Gras thing. I don't participate, but they do doubloons, and clubs order doubloons. Well, some of those folks kind of specialize in odd-shaped pieces, and they'll put your art in 3D on those doubloons, and then you can put that in the bottom of your piece, if you think you want to do that. All right, I'm talking. The wife is management. Pardon me. What's it now? They'll call it a supreme leader. Is right there. And she tells me we better stop. It's 3 hours. I'll go along with that. See you next week.
Good night, Eddie.
Good night, everyone.
Night all. Take care.
Yeah, good night.
I don't know if
everybody.
anybody can still see me, but that's what my wife's got outside our door. A veteran lives here with his commander-in-chief.
Do it again. Do it again. I couldn't see it.
It's kind of faded now. My wife put that up there. A veteran lives here with his commander-in-chief. That's right outside our front door.
I can't
there's
do
the
that
dog.
because she wouldn't let me come back in the house. Oh, wait. She just told me she needs that sign.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Take care.
You too.